Good morning, everyone. It is August 22nd. It's about almost 6 a.m. New York time. I want to do a quick recap of some various random markets, assorted time frames of my new 3D adaptive software program. And just as a quick side note, it should be coming out at the end of August, if not the first week in September. So with that said, let me jump right into it. This is Tesla. Okay, this stock has been going ballistic, and I want to make this very clear. Stocks like this kind of price behavior, you don't really see too much in the world of forex trading. Okay, forex trading, there's more kind of boundaries of where things will go up and down. Okay, but a lot of times what happens on these stocks are they start to reach what I call no man's land. They just start making record highs at a crazy, insane rate. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is only back in August 12th down here in the low. This was down near just over like $1,360, eyeballing it, right? It went up to almost $2,100 in 10 days, 11 days. It's just nuts, okay? Few stocks ever get to be priced this high, but to move that quick, that fast is crazy. So I mean, this trade here alone, if you got into it, you know, how valuable would that be? That thing went up $500 odd before it had the first sell signal. Keep in mind, this sell signal wouldn't have got filled, but also what I'm going to teach you in the program is what I call strategic market intelligence, and it's simply being very aware of where you're entering. It's also being aware that not all trades are equal, and sometimes there's red flags that are beyond normal circumstances, and this is one of them. When you see a stock or any kind of product that's moving parabolic, in other words, very, very sharply up, you have to be more careful if you're going to take a counter trend move against that. Also, the thing about it was this yellow line was at $2,000. Few stocks ever get up to that price. That is like a mythical beast. It's just such a big number. Big numbers in the markets are like waving a red cape in front of a bull. All right. And they also create a vacuum. The markets want to go to it. So I knew from kind of having that street smart information, I said, you know what? Even if I have a signal, I'm going to be excuse me, I'm going to be very careful not to go against this, because I just felt like, you know what, 2,000 is a no-brainer, and you can just see on this. Imagine this in a 1 hour, it just blew through that, and let's see what happened. I'm going to mark that. Go to a 15-minute chart. All right, basically you can see this proves what a magnet was. It goes up to it, it goes sideways for probably about an hour and a half. It drops 1 bar, goes up, it started to go sideways for an hour, and then boom. I mean, this is nuts, but it basically that's $90 a share. It went up in no time at all. All right. That was within 1 day. So you can see here, we had a sell signal over in here. We could have got filled in here. I mean, it did go down $25 a share before it went up. But if you're taking counter trend trades, just a little side tip, you have to be much more nimble about getting out and recognizing when things are turning the other way. And let me just give you a quick snapshot of that. Let's say you did take down a 15-minute. You might want to watch the 5-minute to make sure you didn't get a signal that flipped the other way. Now, I didn't get it there. Okay, but let's say I saw a 5-minute buy signal. I would have got out. You hit a beautiful buy signal in the 5-minute here. And just for the heck of it, let's go to the 1 minute. When the markets are really, really, really moving, that's the one time you could use a 1 minute. Okay, I mean, we had some big trades down. I mean, this is nuts on the 1 minute. Market dropped like $40 a share. So if you like to scalp trade, you can do it on the 1 minute, but once again, you have to be really know what you're doing. If you're a new trader, don't go near the 1 minute. But I'm just trying to show you. I mean, it's nuts how fast this thing is moving on the 1 minute. That went up $38, right? Here's a trade. Sometimes you get lucky, like you could have got filled up in that area, then it gapped up overnight. Now it's up $70, but that doesn't always happen. But I'm just showing you how many trades there are in the 1 minute. Now we did have a sell signal and test on the 30 minute, which would have got filled over here. So basically, once again, a little bit of street smarts is you have to say, where's it going to go? And the biggest, most likely target would be down to the $2,000 range again. Okay, that's the big red flag. So you say, okay, can I get a ride down there? And then if it starts to settle out and we get a buy arrow, you could take it the next leg up. I do know this stock is splitting soon. I don't know if it's early next week, so something to keep in mind. Anyway, let's move on from Tesla. Okay, let's take a look at gold. Gold is something that has been making the gold bugs do a happy dance for quite a while now. Now, this is something I didn't really realize until I just got done speaking about that $2,000 level on Tesla. Well, guess what? That yellow line is just a shade above 2,000. It's kind of hard to get it right at the 2,000 level, but it's at 2,000, and we had like 3 arrows to short this market. Okay, and from there it dropped almost $90 an ounce, right? So once again, the logic is that, say you're down here and you get a buy signal. At this point, the market was down about 1870, somewhere in there. And you're saying, where could it possibly go? Well, the answer would be 2,000, back to that mythical level. And then if it hits the mythical level and it just, starts to fall apart, and you get arrows and so forth, and all the other indicators line up, you're good to go. Now let's go back to see what happened. So when we were up here, right, this sell signal wouldn't have got filled, right? But then you have this one up here, and then you have to say, where could it go back to? And the first target would be back to 2,000, right? Same thing, if you get signals back here, this was the end of July, the market's down at like $1,950 odd. You say, where is it going to go? All right. So anyway, just want to show you some beautiful signals. And you can see you get trend, counter trend, you get these what I call kind of momentum breakouts, pre-breakouts, these areas here. Okay, I had a request from a trader. He wanted to, he's an oil trader, so I got a crude oil 1 hour chart. And we had this is a crazy wild beast of a market, so it's not, you really got to know what you're doing. The moves are fast and furious. Some people make absolute fortune in this market, especially if they trade the futures, but you really, really have to know what you're doing, and you need a big account as well. 1 hour chart, it doesn't get better than this, okay? And that came out of this situation where we're just in this, a mess, okay? Quite a big run up. So that's the 1 hour, but I believe he wanted to see the 15 and the 30. So interestingly enough, the 1 hour caught this, but it didn't, 15 didn't catch it. That's why I look at several time frames, and I'll show you the best way to do that. Really nice trade off the bounce there. I mean, this is as crazy as it gets, right? You sell there, and there's very good reasons why this one was a high probability, even though just going by the arrows, you'll be better off than just about any other way you're trading. Let's just go back a few more days, right? Now here's the thing about this, no other program that I've ever seen can catch all these different types of moves. Most programs use trend following, nothing wrong with that, but the market only trends 20% of the time. So you're missing out on a ton of opportunities. And let's finally go to the 30-minute. Now, interestingly, the 30 did catch it like the hour did. And as you've heard me say like a million times, and I will keep saying it, when you get into a trade, you don't know this is going to be the good one. Just drop like a stone. If you got into this one, okay, the market's really been a mess. There's no trend, right? But if it's starting to get to be here, you think maybe that's it, right? Maybe you think it's going to find support here. You don't know that it's going to have an incredible drop down. So you can see we're catching, you know, this. It's not only this is like a chaotic trading range. Okay, there's no order to it, but we're still getting trades. Okay, so anyway, that's crude oil. Let's move quickly to a totally different type of trading environment, or you know, trading product. This is the NASDAQ 100 index. The NASDAQ this week has just been making new highs. It is just leading the way for the markets around the world right now. It's just super strong, okay? And the NASDAQ is heavily weighted in tech stocks. So it makes sense, though, why that's moving so fast. 5-minute chart. If you don't trade NASDAQ, you can make a ton of money on it, especially in the futures markets, but you really need to know what you're doing. But these moves can make you a ton of money when you start to understand the magnitude of these moves. So just quickly, from the most current day, this was the close of Friday, August 21st. This is the 5-minute chart. Just let you take a quick peek. And this is the case, as I said just a minute ago. You don't know. This could have been a move that went really blasted high. It did go up profitably. You would have made money, but eventually it kind of grinded down. Massive move up here, right? Let me just mark that. Very nice counter trend move here. But let's just see what this looks like on the 15-minute. So you can see it got in here on the 5-minute timely. This 15-minute sell wouldn't have got filled. And I just want to do this so you can get a little bit of context, that when you go to different time frames, you will pick up extra trades. So that was the low on the 15-minute, right? There was no signals in this area, so I'll just show you from that patch. But if you go to the 5-minute, let's see what we pick up. Now we get what really would have been sort of like a continuation trade to the upside. We get one here. I don't know if we would have been filled because I don't have the other indicators in the charts. We do catch one to the downside that I know would have been filled. And then we catch, of course, this one off the bottom. And then let's do something real quick. A lot of people who day trade the NASDAQ, they will use like a 1, 2, or 3-minute chart. So let's go to the 1-minute. And they use the faster time frames because this thing moves so quickly. So this price action is on all of August 21st, right? Now, if you haven't seen any of my videos before, just keep in mind, just because you get an arrow, you just don't jump in. You have to have several things line up, and then it'll tell you if you're good to go. All right, this would not you don't jump in right here. Okay, if certain things lined up, then it might have been able to go short here. Right, a short-lived trade, but it did work out. So once again, this is all August 21st. Still August 21st. I mean, a ton of trades. As I like to joke around, you can trade yourself silly if you want, because people ask me, well, how many trades am I going to get? Well, that's entirely dependent on how many markets you watch, how many time frames, and how much time you spend at the computer. Okay, you could have hundreds of trades a week if you're looking at a whole bunch of different products and time frames. So let's just kind of, we're still on August 21st. It's amazing how long the day seems on a 1 minute chart, right? And now I've run out of signals on that. And then let's look at a currency pair, and then we'll wrap this up. This is the EURGBP 15 minute. I think 15 minute can be a great trading time. It cuts out a lot of the noise. So anyway, let's just kind of go. Caught this move off the bottom here. Now this one did go your way a little bit, but it just kind of grounded down. So if you did get filled, and assuming all the other things that I needed to see that got me in, it would have been where you just basically just scratch out. You lose a few pips, but you don't have to let it get below you out of the trade and take a big loss. And one of the indicators that I don't have on here, because if you saw it, you would be very confused on why and how it works, is that you would know ahead of time whether this is going to be the high in the market. It sounds kind of crazy. So let's just go back a little bit. Once again, we're catching trades. I mean, when you're sitting here, right? Is that a downtrend? It's kind of, you got to use a lot of bit of a creative license and artistic, artistic license to decide which way it is. Some people are going to think, oh, well, it's still down. But other people say, no, strong impulse up, it's going to go up. So it actually did both, right? It did go down, but now it's going up. So the software doesn't care, all right? Which is the beautiful thing. The more we can remove ourselves from trying to overanalyze what's really happening, the better we are. So this is 15 minute. Show you a few more. Tons and tons of trades. Let's go to the hour. Some people who can't sit at their computers very much or don't want as many signals. Okay. Now this is really kind of proves my point that the markets don't trend a lot. This is not trending. Trend traders would be going crazy on this stuff. It's okay. It doesn't make a trend trader happy. Okay. Lots of chaos. I mean, these bars are just beasts. You know, the way on a 1 hour bar, they have such a wide range and they barely move. This, yes, in hindsight, this trade did go up, 75 pips, but you had to sit through like a day of crap, okay? This is a trade that worked out great. You would have been, getting a little bit scared here, you wouldn't have been stopped out. It eventually worked out really nice, but it just, this is a tough market. But once again, the software doesn't care about that. It sees a setup, and then you just take it. Now, one thing I just want to make very clear, if you haven't seen my videos, this is not an EA, also known as an expert advisor. This is not a robot. In other words, you don't just put this one indicator on here and it gets you in the trade automatically, and it tells you where to get out and where to exit. Those things I teach you how to do. Okay, I've never seen some fully automated system that works. Those things only work in very limited situations. Okay, limited parameters, one tiny little trade, and more often than not, they blow up. Okay, there's too many people, and fell for it too, is think you can install a $97 EA or a robot off the internet, it's going to make you money. Okay, they just don't work like they advertise. So anyway, that's it for this week, and I will bring you some new trades in the upcoming trading week. Until then, have a fantastic weekend.